Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you a fun 4th of July look. So we're gonna go ahead, do some out of the box eye stuff going on. I've got like a reddish and a blue with some fun little stars and a little bit of glitter. I'm also gonna give you some ways where you can tone this look down or even jazz it up a little bit more. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go ahead and get started. So I went in and I did my eyebrows already. Those are already done. I went and used the e.l.f. brow pencil. I believe it's a natural brown. That and all the other products that I'm going to use on my face, because I probably won't do all of my face in this video, like it'll be done by the end, but I'll mostly be focusing on showing you how to do the eyes. All the products that I'm going to use will be listed down in the description box below. I always list them down there. I did go ahead and put the Ulta matte eye primer on my eyes already, and I'm just going to go ahead and set that down. You can use any basically matte, slightly shimmery white that you have. I just think the white's a good base. It's really going to make those color pop. You can also use a white eyeshadow base too if you want. This is the NYX Dreamcatcher palette. It's got a really nice white matte in it, so that's what I'm going to use. Just really just setting that, and again, giving the cleanest base I can. I love doing 4th of July looks, I think, because I don't use these colors often. You know, I don't really use red and I don't really use blue. So this just kind of allows me to use colors that I don't use frequently. I'm never really going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere this year. It'll mostly just be like staying at home, you know, grilling, that kind of stuff. So it's not anything crazy. I'm going to take this Glamour Dolls brush. In case you're wondering about the color on it, I was testing the color that I'm going to use for this, so that's the color that's on it currently. And it's just the Glamour Dolls brush. It's fluffy, but it's not overly fluffy. So let me show you in comparison. This is the Wet n Wild brush that I typically use. I don't know if you're even going to be able to tell, but this one's like super fluffy. See how fluffy that one is compared to like this one? So this one's got a little bit more of a point to it. It's gonna let me get a little bit more detailed, but still blending everything out. So the red color I'm gonna use is going to be in the Witchcraft and Wizardry palette. It's gonna be this. This was the reddest color I had in my collection. Red is not a color I feel the need to go out and buy because I will never wear it. I don't love it on me. I don't know why, because I wear a lot of maroons or like reddish oranges. Just don't like red. So this is about as red as I'm gonna get. So we're gonna go ahead, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go just above my crease. I'm gonna do a little bit to start. I'm not picking up too much product. We're gonna start off easy and build it up. So that way you can make sure it's blended really well. So we're just gonna go just ever so slightly right there. And just really focusing that little bit of color as best as possible. And I'm going to pick up a little bit more. And really, it's better, for especially for colors like this, to hold it towards the end. It's going to give you a little bit more wiggle with the brush, especially when you're trying to blend. It's different to need like a tighter grip on it when you're trying to be much more precise with the color. And then I'm just going to keep really focusing in that crease, but just blending slightly above. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll build that up a little bit more. But just so you kind of start to really see that transition-y color. Not transition, but just so you start to get more of like the blended color. I think reds are a little bit easier to blend than blues. You could obviously flip these colors as well and do the blue in the crease and then the red on the lid. I just think that this works a little bit better for my skin tone. I feel like blues look a little odd on me. They're not my go-to. So just kind of blending it in. Love to know what 4th of July plans do you guys have? I know a lot of people like really get into it. They do a lot of cool, fun stuff. I don't know. I think it probably doesn't help that my anniversary is the day before. So usually like we're doing something for that. You know, usually we just kind of grill. This year's really weird because it lands on a Thursday. I know a lot of people have off. We just took vacation last week, so my husband's not off. But, you know, like I said, we don't really do a whole lot. And so many other people take it off that even if we wanted to do something like go to the zoo or the museum, it's going to be packed. And we don't really like going for that kind of stuff. Alright, and now I'm just blending out that red as much as possible. If you're like it doesn't look very blended, don't worry, we'll fix that. And I'm just going to make this one a little bit darker. Kind of got so focused on that eye, I forgot to come back. It happens. It's funny, normally we cook out like more cookie out food, that's a word, like burgers and steaks and stuff. This year we're like, we want to keep it simple. Hot dogs. We also have a 4-year-old, so we kind of let my son pick. He loves brats too, and we debated about it, but we were at the store and we would have had to go to a different store to get brats. And they weren't on sale like they usually are, so we're like, forget it. Hot dogs it is. And every so often, like, it's nice to have like a good old-fashioned just hot dog, I feel like, in the summer. You know, it's very summer nostalgic. And I'm going to take, and I'm just going to really try to focus it, just a very specific line, just right here in the crease. Just like that. And then again on the other side. It's a little bit lower than I originally put it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fluffy brush and really just blend out the top edge. So I'm going to use my Sigma, what is this? Sigma E40 brush and just blend the top edge as best I can. I got a little crazy right here, so I'm also going to take this brush that I used to set it with the white, and I'm just going to fluff that out a bit on both sides because my inner corner got a little crazy. But then I'm just going to take this, it's a clean brush, there's nothing on it, just to blend out that edge. And that's just going to give it a little bit, just a nicer blend. I always feel like my inner corner does not blend as well as everything else. Does anybody experience that? Is it just me? Is my eye weird? It's entirely possible. See, I feel like that part just like will not blend as nicely. And I do want to take just a little bit more right here on this eye. There we go. And then just blend that corner a little bit better. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and pack on the blue. And I'm going to use the Huda Beauty, I should turn it around, the Huda Beauty Sapphire Obsessions palette. I like this palette. I don't love it, but I wanted some blues in my collection. This was before ColourPop decided to add their like 900 versions of different colors, which now I want, but I'm like, I don't really need 2 blue palettes because I don't wear them that often. Anyway, completely outside the topic, but I'm going to go ahead and use this one. It is a shimmerier shade. It's going to look like this. on, but I do think it's about the right color, and I don't mind a little shimmer on the lid. The red I actually used had a little bit of a shimmer in it, and you can't really tell once it's blended out, so. This one I feel like you might be able to tell a little bit more. I'm going to pack this on with my finger first, and then I'll go in with a brush to kind of clean it up. Sorry, my back is hurting today. I worked out yesterday. I'm checking out Mad Fit. Her name's Maddie. I found out about her from Jessica Braun, and I just needed something like at home that was quick. And I thought, you know, I haven't worked out in a while. I should probably start. And I liked the fact, I was like, you know what, she's doing these workouts that are to a song. So they're not long, they're like 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm like, you know, even if I started just doing one of those a day, at least I'd be doing something. If you're wondering about my lighting, it's very cloudy out today and the sun keeps going behind the clouds. I have other lights on, but I still feel like it's affecting the lighting in here. Oh, clouds. It's done nothing but rain. It's finally starting to get hot, but it's so rainy that it's humid and gross and just not very fun. I'm really trying to like pack it on. Alright. Wipe off that. So you can kind of see I'm packing on. It's going to look a little funky to start. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a brush and pack it on with a brush so I can kind of get those places. This is just an e.l.f. shader brush. You're going to notice it looks a little bit blue too. Again, I kind of did a trial run of this. So I'm just going to go back into that same shade and then gonna get in those areas. It's a little bit harder for my finger to reach. I do not have any foundation or anything on. When I'm using blues especially, I always do my foundation afterwards because, I don't know, I just find that it always leaves kind of like a blue tinge to my skin. Especially when I'm packing on like these outer corners. I feel like you always get blue everywhere. And blue is a very hard one. If your foundation's already on, it's very hard to clean up. I've even tried baking, like putting that under my eyes, and I still end up with like a blue tinge. So I don't love it as much. Maybe part of the reason. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the edge of this brush and just gently blend that blue-red edge. Just so it's starting to blend. We'll blend it better in a minute, but just kind of gives it a chance to start blending like that. So it's gonna look a little funky to start, but and then go back, and this just, my inner corners are so hard to reach with my fingers, so I usually have to use a brush with those. I have worn this look. I wore this last year to work. Now I have hooded eyes, so I feel like you don't notice it as much as other people would. But I was also in a point where I was kind of over my job, and I was kind of like, well, they're gonna fire me, go ahead. They didn't. I did end up just quitting, but eventually, several months later, actually. But, you know, this was like one of the few times I went a little. It's not like I did it on purpose all the time. I'm not that employee, okay? But I figured, you know, it's 4th of July. I was like, it's a great reason to wear blue. It's a great reason to wear red. Might as well go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that brush again. So you can tell I kind of blended the edges. They're just not very good. So I'm going to take this brush again in the red, and I'm going to very gently blend those together as best that I can. I'm going to start by not adding any red to it because I don't want it to be too crazy. I'm going to start blending it first, and then I'll add a little bit of red as I need to blend some more. So we're just going to get right on that blue red edge. Like, I kind of try to make my eyelid as tight as possible so there's no creasing there and I can get it as blended as best as I can. So I'm right on that very, very edge. Not bad. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the red now and just go ever so slightly over it. I do this because sometimes the red will start to look a little purple, and this just adds a little bit more red to it. So it's going to look like that. And then I'm going to do the other side. And just go in again. Very tight on the line. And if you're like, dude, the above is a little crazy, we're gonna blend that back out just slightly too. I'm gonna dip back in with that fluffy brush I used and just a little bit of the matte white that I had set everything with. And just gently go above. I mean, obviously you can take up your red as much as you want, but just to kind of tone it down. So you're gonna get a look that looks pretty similar to that. And I'm just gonna blend, blend, blend. I feel like this side, one side is way like, okay. Just blend that as best I can. Now I'm going to go and do the rest of my face makeup before I finish. Just go ahead and get that done for you. And I went in and did my face makeup, and I'll show you the products that I used. So I did use my Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. This is definitely one of my favorite primers, and I really like it in the summer because it does kind of keep everything oil controlled. The only time I don't use this is if I'm using my sunscreen, but then I'm usually using a different foundation than the one I'm going to show you. But I really, really like this. Kind of helps control that sweatiness. Then I went ahead and used my IT Cosmetics CC cream. I use this a lot in the summer. I really don't use it in the winter, but in the summer I love it, especially for things like 4th of July when you know you're going to be outside. Having that SPF is nice. If I don't use this foundation, then I do use a facial SPF instead, but a lot of times I'll use this, and sometimes I even use this with my facial SPF. But I really, really like this. Don't love the smell on this, but I do really like this product. So it's nice and lightweight too, so it's great for being outside in the summer. A lot of times in the summer I like using a lighter concealer, so I use the Maybelline Age Rewind because it doesn't have a heavy feel to it. It's very, very light. Don't really have a lot of issues with it creasing or doing anything weird. So that's currently what's on my under eye, and I really enjoy this. It's definitely something I've repurchased more times than I can count. And then I just set everything with my Dermablend loose powder. So again, another product that I do really, really enjoy. So now that all of that is done, we're gonna go ahead and do the under eye part, eyeliner, that kind of stuff, that we can see how the rest of it's done. I'm gonna very, very delicately take the blue just underneath my lash line with a liner brush, but I'm going to also use the red to blend it out. So I'm going to start with the red and then put the blue on top first. So I'm going to use something a little bit of fluffier for the red. So I'm going to use something a little bit fluffier for the red. So this is the Dose of Colors. It's like what comes with them. I really like this side, so I'm going to dip that into the red a little bit. Just let me get a smaller mirror. I'm I'm just going to take that just lightly along the lash line and slightly underneath. And just take it all the way across. And then connect it to here. Before I put on my face foundation, I took a wipe and wiped everything, so I kind of like nixed that corner. It's a good way to just like blend them together. Just like that. And then I'm going to take it and just obviously do the same thing with the other side. So we're just going to again go right underneath. Just like that. Now, if you're wearing this to work, you may not want to go so extreme. You could also take like a really warm brown and do that. You could also just not do anything underneath. This is where it's gonna get a little crazy. Honestly, I don't remember what I did last time. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this liner brush and I'm gonna use this with the blue. And again, I'm just going to take that just ever so slightly across my lash line because I don't want it to be like blue everywhere. I'm actually going to kind of dip it in, but then like wipe it off on this paper towel I have, just so it's not insane. And I'm not even like rubbing, I'm more just pressing it just along the line. Because you don't want it to be thick. It's almost going to look like you're tight lining. Like you really want to keep it as tight as possible. Just along there. So you're mostly going to see the red, but so this is just going to give you just an ever so slightly, just a little blue to connect it. And obviously you could blue it, you know, make it more blue. You can make it more prominent. You could do blue across the whole thing and not use any of the red. Just feel like the red kind of helps tie it all together. Now I'm going to go ahead and I have this like star, it's like star, but it's also like a liner. So it's an eyeliner pen on one side and then it's a star stamp on the other. You could obviously, if you can freehand stars, more power to you. I can't, so I'm going to use this for that, but I'm going to line my eyes first. And then I'm going to show you how I stamp it. So now I'm going to take the stampy end of it and I'm just going to put it, you could do it on both sides. I feel like I'm only going to do it on one. And I usually do it on this side because of the way I have my bangs, so a lot of times it covers that side of my face. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do just like that. You could also, like I said, you could stamp inside as well. So now to kind of jazz it up even more, you obviously can stop at any point. I'm going to take my Stila glitter in Diamond Dust. And I'm not going to use the wand for this. I'm going to just take this eyeliner brush. I mostly just want the tip of it, and I'm going to attempt to put it in the middle of the star. Just to kind of So I'm going to attempt to put this like in the middle of the star a little bit, or just over it, just to add some glitter to my face. Obviously you don't have to put glitter there, but then I'm also going to take this same thing and I'm going to put the glitter, and I'm going to, we'll use the wand for this. So I'm going to take the glitter and I'm going to put the wand right here in the inner corner of my eye. And then in case you're like, oh, that's too much, just take your finger a little bit and just pat it. Now, you could also take the glitter across like the inner part of your eyelid if you wanted. It's up to you. If you hear my cat, he's like meowing at the door. So just like that. And like I said, you could also just take it across. I don't really feel like doing that today. I feel like I did enough craziness over here. Again, you could not add the stars. You could not add the glitter. It's kind of up to you. Because this is a little over the top, I'm going to use a nude lip. But if you don't use the stars, or you don't use the glitter, or you want to be even more over the top and do a red lip, you can do a red lip too. The nice thing about just kind of having this base of red and blue is it really allows you to kind of do what you need to do. If you're good at cutting a crease, you could do a white crease across. I didn't like it when I tried it, so I ended up wiping everything off and starting over. It's really kind of what you're feeling. So I'm going to go ahead and add mascara. I'm going to do the rest of my face, and then I will be right back. I went and finished the rest of my makeup, put, you know, bronzer, blush, a little bit of highlight, and then just a basic nude lip, as well as some mascara on. This is going to be the look that we finished up with. Just a little bit of bling in the corner, nice blend of blue and red on the eye, and just a few stars to shake it up a bit, and a little bit of the red and blue on the lower lash line. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed already, go ahead and do that as well, because I love to hear from you. Please comment below what your 4th of July plans are, and if there's anything you would like to see coming up with my videos. Hope to see you all again next time. Have a great day. Bye.